All right, good morning. Welcome in. Ole Miss takes 2 of 3 from Mississippi State. Mason Nichols out of Jackson Prep was incredible yesterday on Sunday. Run ruled the Dogs. First series win for Mike Bianco in 9 years. Hard to believe, going all the way back to John Cohen. Think about how long it's been since Cohen was your baseball coach. He took over as AD in 2016. Holy Mary Olzab. We are the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Jackson Meadows with me. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Noah has decided to join us. We're happy that he's here. Hope you had a good weekend. Golly, the weather was great. The Masters was solid. I mean, I enjoyed watching it, but there wasn't anything, crazy or compelling on Sunday. I want, 2 or 3 guys duking it out. Scotty Scheffler's just that good right now. Mike Bianco has 5 conference wins with 15 conference games left. Chris Lemonis has 7 conference wins with 15 games left. I don't think you're making a move. I don't think Zach Selman or Keith Carter will say this. Well, they may frame it up. Probably not as candid and just blunt as I am. They could kind of, massage it. But baseball's not worth spending millions and millions and millions of dollars to flip out of a staff into another one there, especially in an era where NIL is driving the train. Ole Miss has gotten behind their NIL football. Mississippi State has not, but neither has Florida. Neither has Auburn. Neither have some other schools. Southern Cal, who have, a ton of money. But Ole Miss and Missouri are kind of those mid-tier programs that said, oh, this is an opportunity for us to close the gap and possibly make the college football playoff. And they have quarterbacks in Brady Cook and Jackson Dart that are really, really good. Can you believe Brady Cook can run a 4.5-ish? That's moving. Mississippi State will play Missouri next to last game of the year. Now, the one thing that you got going for you, if you have a hope and a prayer, is 1, they've been playing in the East, and 2, Missouri pulls a bunch of West teams. We don't have an East and a West, but they haven't had to play a West schedule like Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Arkansas, which is brutal. It's the toughest gauntlet in American sports, in my opinion. Now we merge the 2 divisions. Missouri has to play A&M, Auburn, and Bama, and Oklahoma before they play Mississippi State. You're hoping you have a wing and a prayer that weekend, because they have never gone through that kind of physicality index in there ever. They were in the Big 12 before, and they play.
Yeah, run it back.
They play A&M, Auburn, Bama, and Oklahoma
That's back
on
to
their
back.
schedule.
No.
Well, it's within
Okay.
5 weeks. 3 of the 4, A&M,
Are back to
Auburn,
back
and
to back.
Bama are 3 out of 4 weeks.
That's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the West.
Yeah, just welcome to the real SEC.
This is what we do. Yeah.
The gap between the West and the East was so significant. Wasn't talked about enough, I don't think. But
It's kind of like
now they do pull Vanderbilt.
hidden secret.
That's a gift.
Yeah.
And they pull South Carolina. That's a gift. But they have to play A&M, Auburn, Bama, and Oklahoma in the middle latter part of the schedule. They will get beat up. They will get beat up.
Yeah,
Now, I don't know what the Mississippi State defense will look like either from the jump or by then, but the bottom line is, it is what it is. Missouri, they're not. I don't think they're beating A&M at A&M or Bama at Bama.
No. I mean, they're not. They're going probably 1-4 in those games. I mean, if 3 of them are in 4 weeks, you're going probably a best case scenario there is 1-2.
They pulled Boston College, which is kind of like Ole Miss playing Wake Forest. So that's pretty good. Non-conference. Slow, not athletic team. So that'll be a good dub. But, I know Missouri believes they had the best quarterback in the SEC in Brady Cook. Ole Miss thinks they had the best. And Georgia thinks they have the best in Carson Beck. Well, and now Bama fans think they have the best in Milroe.
Milroe's it, baby. For Heisman.
Now he's got an unbelievable offensive coordinator in Kalen DeBoer.
He's got fun with him.
You know, he and Kiffin are the two best. Heupel's up there. DeBoer, Kiffin, Heupel. DeBoer, Kiffin, Heupel. Splitting hairs probably there. Going around. Yeah. Hughes in there, but he's got to get a guy that's like Jackson Dart or Brady Cook or better. All right. So Lemonis and Bianco. Bianco's riding high today, gets his first series win in 9 years. Lemonis, people are mad. I mean, Lemonis can't throw strikes, although he did recruit players, but they didn't throw strikes on Saturday night in the close game, and they didn't field a fairly routine, not an extremely difficult play, not a routine ground ball to second. Scale of 1 to 10, difficulty maybe 6.
You make that play.
So, yeah, but you got to make that play. But that's not the only. I mean, you know, that's not the only thing that hampered the Dogs. They couldn't throw strikes and they hit somebody. So you melted down on the mound. Justin Parker's doing everything he can with this staff. Talent-wise, they're solid, but they don't scare you.
No.
And Ole Miss's staff is solid, but don't scare you. So I don't know what that means. Ole Miss has to win a ton of games to get 9 of 15. Now they've got a somewhat favored schedule, but that's still tough, man, in this league, because you just don't ever know. It's not like football, where the better recruiter wins 75% of the time. Baseball's weird, funky, and I don't know, and you don't know, and we don't know, and who knows, and we're all, you know, in this crazy spot. But you got Georgia this weekend, you need 2 or 3. You got Bama the next weekend, you need 2 or 3. You got Auburn the next weekend, you got 2 or 3. At that point, you'd be 11 wins. The problem is you got A&M.
Right. To round it.
And
manageable.
If you were going to lose 2 or 3 days, they're number 1 today in the D1. That doesn't mean you can't beat them, but if you lose 2 or 3 or get swept, it's a rough path to 14 conference wins for Bianco. I think Keith Carter and Zach. Oh, by the way, I reserve my right to change this even tomorrow.
Right.
Because things change. But today, I think they run it back.
Right here, right now, they're running it back.
With Bianco and Lamone, they're not going to spend millions and millions of dollars because it's football. And they're asking their donors to do something that they never thought that they would have to do. And it's their donors that are already giving mega bucks to suites and tickets and naming rights and all this kind of stuff. But if you're not heavily involved in your NIL and helping your collective or initiative, then you're not going to win in the most important sport. You know, this is the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit at Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue, and the Hash Brown Bowl. Let's also talk about that comeback burger for lunch with double onion rings and fried pickles. Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue. Did you know they're now open in Flowood and Dogwood? B3, Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue. Good morning. Welcome in on a Monday. Crazy, crazy weekend in Oxford. Not so much at Augusta. Man, the text line has been on fire. Driven by your next John Deere tractor at any Ag Up equipment dealership. The text line is 601-885-3776. Ole Miss with the series win. They take 2 out of 3. And Ole Miss will now go on the road to play Georgia in Athens. 3-game series. Georgia is solid. Maybe.
You're supposed to win that series.
Yeah.
You should be
I
heavily.
mean, they don't care about baseball, so how you can run that however you want. But Mississippi State will host Auburn.
Should be heavily favored.
Yeah. So that's where we are. Lamonis is within striking distance of the postseason. Will they collapse? I don't know. Or will they take 2 or 3 this weekend? You're at 9 wins. You're right there going into the 14 conference wins. If he wins 14, even if he's left out, he's coming back. I think both are coming back because I think Zach Selman and Keith Carter are looking at this and like, I'm not doing it. There's too much unknown. We're just not going to invest this. And quite frankly, if we take a little bit of a hit at the gate next year, we don't really care. Actually, our fan bases are so rabid that we'll still have really good crowds. I mean, Mississippi State last year was going on year 2, packed the stadium. Packed the stadium for conference. Obviously, they're more rabid than Ole Miss. Ole Miss really likes it, but they can check out in a hurry. Not as big as in basketball, but they can check out in a hurry. Now, winning this weekend will be a little sweetener. Again, first time in almost a decade. Right? I mean, there's 15-year-old Ole Miss fans that don't ever remember beating them because they were 5.
That's absurd.
Or 6.
Crazy.
Whatever. And, it was a good weekend. They did what they need to do.
So what would have to happen in your eyes to spur anything other than that? Anything other than them staying where they are? I mean, are we talking... I mean, is it going to have to be something like exponentially detrimental to them, or
to who?
To either Bianco or Lamonis? What would have to happen for this not to be the case moving forward?
I think it would have to be a monumental collapse.
Okay.
By either one. Even then,
still,
you're talking about millions of dollars.
Mills.
And who? Outside of Tony Vitello, which you don't know if you're going to get.
Right.
You're not guaranteed anything. Some people would say, we're guaranteed to win big with Cliff Godwin. He's done a good job at East Carolina. They've been winning forever. I can remember them in Mississippi State regionals in the 80s. Again, that North Carolina, South Carolina area has been pumping out players. North Carolina is a like 10.5 million population. There's a lot of money there.
Sheesh.
What does money mean? Travel ball. Lessons. Parents will pay. I mean, it's exploding here. I mean, parents are paying over $1,000 a month for one-on-one lessons.
Golly.
Not counting travel ball. That's another couple thousand. Bats, balls, gloves. And they're traveling to here, this location, and getting in those Marriott Bonvoy and Hilton points.
Diamond Club.
So that's where we are.
That's
unless you just promote Gotro,
right?
You save money. You still got to pay Lamonis out.
Yeah.
And then you retain Parker, probably give him a raise. Hire one more assistant and see if you can figure it out from that. That's your only, you don't have that option in Oxford. I just don't see Lafferty or Clement being that guy that would be tapped, but maybe I'm wrong. That would be the only thing that I can see happening, because Mississippi State's not going to pay 7 figures for a new baseball coach. I don't think Ole Miss is either. I mean, Ole Miss isn't going to fire Mike Bianco, which is going to cost them even more than the Lamonis thing, and then pay Tony Vitello out,
right,
and then bring him on for $2 million a year, or even Cliff Godwin, I mean,
Still.
you have to pay him minimum 1.2. So right there, you're at 3.4.5. Let's just go to 5 plus Clement and Lafferty buyout plus 2 more. So yeah, you're running into the millions. Oh man, enjoy some an ice cold Busch Light this week and some mud bugs, or an ice cold Busch Light and some smash some wings. I'm in. Whew. Got to figure out well, 2 brothers this weekend. And they've got the cool Hardy poster up there. You know, Busch Light sponsors Hardy, which is awesome. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're driven by your next Nissan Pathfinder and Nissan Rogue at Cannon Nissan in Jackson. All new body style. And then the Nissan Rogue is the crossover with great gas mileage. Yeah. All right. We'll go to the Stella Artois caller line, which is great beer. And we'll welcome in DK. DK, what's up?
Not much. How you doing today, Bo?
I'm good, bud. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Look, I was going to ask you a question. Do you not think that the alumni will demand for a coaching change and say we're not going to give money for NIL for baseball if we do not make a change?
Well, the Mississippi State alumni haven't even given enough money for football, which is the most important thing. So if I'm Zach Selman, I go, okay. And, you know, then you'll field the team that you field.
Right. And don't you kind of think that's what happened this year?
No, they pumped in. I mean, Dakota Jordan's getting 6 figures. That's unheard of in the SEC. I mean, Paul Skeens is an anomaly, okay?
Exactly.
So let's not, I mean, people are going, I mean, the other bigger brands, Georgia's not paying any of their baseball players. They're not paying any of their baseball players any money. Auburn's not paying any of their baseball players any money. A&M ponied up. Mississippi State ponied up a little bit. Ole Miss threw in a little bit. LSU threw in. Yeah, LSU did. And look what they're doing. I mean, you're not guaranteed. You know, last year everybody went nuts. And then, so yes, they spent a lot of money, but they also landed on a generational pitcher. And they had some good players coming back, which nobody wanted to talk about. They said it was all the portal. So I think people are going to look at it and go, why? It's all about football. You need to be paying edge rushers, quarterbacks, and left and right offensive tackles, DK.
Gotcha. That was just kind of.
I mean, I'll be honest. Dakota Jordan's a hell of a player. Here's my question: as far as WAR, as far as the stat WAR, is any college baseball outfielder worth 6 figures?
Exactly.
Starting pitchers are.
Yes.
But as far as like Paul Skeens, but as far as WAR, tell me an outfielder that's worth more than. They don't win games for the most part. I mean, yeah, every now and then I get it. A Dakota or Braden Montgomery, you know, go 3 for 4. They may have a home run and a double, and I guess you could kind of say they won it, but a lot of other things have to happen, right?
But not overall.
Right.
Not as far as yes.
Yeah.
I got you. I understand. I'll hang up and listen. I was just wondering about that, though.
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi State fans are still slow playing football, which it drives everything.
Does this
era. It drives everything. I was actually surprised what you paid Blake Shapen, but it's worth it. He's a playmaker at quarterback. I mean, I love right fielders, center fielders, and left fielders. What is their WAR over the course of 56 games? 0.75?
Yeah, if that's being really kind.
And I love Dakota Jordan.
Sure.
I think he's amazing. I hope he goes and makes millions for the Los Angeles Dodgers or Atlanta Braves or New York Yankees or Cincinnati Reds. I love him. But, I mean, what's Hunter Hines' WAR? 0.025? We're live in the BankPlus studio. Out of Bounds lunch today brought to you by Fleetway Market and the Market Cafe. You've got to try the ribs and the pulled pork sandwich at Fleetway Market, Market Cafe in Gluckstadt.